Here we go. Welcome back to Banished from the Hero Party Anime Review, episode number 11. We are here reviewing the. If I can get the thing here, if my thing work properly. Here we go. It is episode number 16, Zoltan's Solstice Festival. And mostly, but yeah, next week. They will be adapting for the next episode. They've already released some already. Next episode released is going to start down book 6 for the series. So, what happens in this episode? Well, first I want to talk about basic couple scenes featuring the Dora, the Crusader, because she's actually been worth the new hero, where she someone she knows where that he has to go to Zoltan to basically warn Red about the hero maybe going there, and she'll work away to basically prevent him going there. Then she speaks to a duke about the hero and potentially trying to get him to not go to Zoltan per se, and that's literally her two scenes. Yeah, she's on screen for like less than a few minutes. It's like she's there just to advance basically a B plot. So then, of course, basically, right after the opening scene, we start off with Red and Rich with the going to the Zoltan Solstice Festival. We're like, ooh, yeah, like Red could describe himself as excuse me. Red basically says, "Oh, you look great in that cape," and Rit basically tells Red, "You look great in that coat." And of course, right in the bag, yeah, the Black plays the role a little bit later when the elf of the village basically decides to take herself and her friend to the sauna to basically be in the powder stuff for it, and they actually do use it a little bit later in the episode. They can heat it up, and this elf does pop up a little later in that episode because she meets Yolandra. Yep. Like, oh, she's part of this higher elf thing. Like, oh, don't worry about that, basically. Because from her perspective, she's like she thinks herself as like, I think she described it like a lower elf, and she's like a high elf. And don't worry, we're equals here. Don't worry about that, because basically, it's like she's from she's like from the boonies, and she's like from the big city. Kind of in a way. It's like she's very intimidated by her. Not because she's an elf, because basically she's a higher elf than she is. But that's a brief scene. I do enjoy that one. Yolandra is only seen in one scene the whole episode, kind of, and she's done a little bit here and there. Later on in the chapter, they actually cut a scene where they actually had her helping out Telsey in later on in the chapter, which they cut out for some reason. Not sure why. So then, right after the sauna stuff, they basically kind of go into the village. We're going to meet Gideon and his nephew. I say his nephew because that's technically what he is. Because here's the thing about this kid. This kid is explained in season 1. You see, he is half human, half elf. Because his mom is an elf, but his father is a human. And from what he perspective, now, sometimes in fiction, a lot of the time, male elves do not like it when human males take the females of the elves. That's a common trait in fiction, a lot of the time. Because elves are long-lasting people that they think they might, age out from them. And of course, basically, Landra basically describes herself being in her 50s, despite she still looks, well, probably a little bit younger. So, basically, like, he's drinking, like, oh, I have a day off tomorrow, because basically all the time being a ghost town. And of course, and basically, Ruti and Tessa basically want to do it too. Tessa, for some reason, is still wearing her regular attire. Ruti at least wears a different outfit every episode. So then we also see like a divine, now basically like a reenactment, and of course the demon is played by their old friend, the one who lost his hand last season. Yolandra basically reenacted like, oh, you lost your hand. How did that happen? Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, okay, the explanation for that, of the reason why he lost his hand to a demon they beat before the events of the series. And the demon came back and chopped his hand off and assumed his appearance. That's mostly put exactly what this is. I kind of remember that because I was actually finished watching the dub from the previous season, because originally when I watched this season, the first season, I actually got to around episode 8 or 9 for dub, and then I ran out of dub episodes, and I decided for some reason not to wait for the dub to finish content, just switched it to sub. And I did the last few episodes in the season wrapped up. And I didn't get back to it until just before the season came out. I decided to go back and watch those last few episodes that were, in fact, I watched sub originally, went back and watched them dubbed, which I was pretty smart at doing. I basically have done it also for a little bit for a couple other series I've watched, Skeleton in the World and The World's Finest Assassin. I still haven't finished those up yet, but at least one of them is actually in that season. That's World's Finest Assassin. So the scene, the whole festival proceeds pretty much exactly how I would expect the manga and the actual book itself. So right afterwards, we have Rit and Ruti in their bedroom, where basically Red gives her a necklace as a promise to give basically her ring, and she says, "Oh, as a gift, why don't we just sleep in?" And they kiss, and it's implied they may have had sex again, because they actually did it. They actually had the way it's shown at the end of the last season. It's obviously shown the fact these two had sex the very first time. I mean, they obviously love each other. They kissed and they shared a bed together, but they've never had sex before. And it wasn't necessarily a graphic scene per se, just some take off some clothes. And later on, they're basically under the covers, and they're both butt naked. I can tell just by watching the scene. So it's implied they may have done it. Yep. Also, during the scene in the festival, we actually have Red dancing with his sister, and she's never danced before, and basically taught her how to dance. Now, Ruti is, of course, developing a brother complex. Yes, they had her start developing this once she got that new blessing that she's got. There's also a scene, I think, is made for the anime where there was a member of the village who just got his blessing, and for some reason, blessings make people act completely irrationally in this series. For some reason, some blessings did, but not all of them. The one blessing that makes a person act completely out of character for them, and it's expected the person to act like this, is the hero's blessing, where they feel nothing, they feel no pain, they don't feel cold, they don't sleep, they apparently don't eat or drink. Apparently the blessing basically covers all those things for them. And the whole purpose of the hero thing is like, oh, let's basically have them basically feel nothing and basically be completely motionless and smile and be covered in blood. Basically, the new hero is Ruti did not smile at all. Nope, she did not feel happy killing demons. She found no pleasure in it. The new hero apparently finds pleasure in it. Yep. But then, of course, we have the end of the episode where we have these two people infiltrate the village, and then Tessa basically just follows them because apparently from the assassins go, chases them, covers them in web, and then another person shows up, basically frees them, and like, I know you. And then he throws a knife at her, and then that's the episode ends. Like, interesting. I did not expect that at all, but definitely was a good episode. Yep, I do appreciate that. We finally finished Death in Book 5, and now we're on to Book number 6. Now, I should point out, though, that the books released here have only released as Book 9. As far as... 9 is the most recent book that's been released here. Yes. And, Now, some are thinking, when's next one to come out? Actually, book 10 just came out here. Just a couple weeks ago. I haven't had a chance to download it. I'll probably read it later. But book 11 comes out in May. Yep, that's by the May. Then pretty much we have 3 more books left to release, and that's it. In Japan, they actually just released book 13, just not even like a little month ago. Next book comes out next month. Yep. But not really much else to say about this episode. It's good. And we're kind of in a way, like I mentioned, we are done with book 5. And now we're in book 6. Yep, so yes, that's pretty much a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn notifications, and do not hit that dislike button. It's getting kind of late. Do I have work tomorrow? No, I have a day off. Will I do the video? Probably not. I'll probably send some reading. So tomorrow I expect to see some more Better Heroes, 2 anime videos, and maybe a comic corner or 2, okay? I can do it tomorrow. Bye.